Harold Bennett was always the picture of good health. At 76, he walked 3 miles a day, read voraciously, and kept a vegetable garden in his backyard. He never smoked, drank only on holidays, and followed a strict low-sodium diet ever since his blood pressure ticked up in his late 60s. His wife Marjorie often bragged about his memory. Sharper than mine ever was, she'd tell the grandkids with a wink. So when Harold collapsed in the kitchen one quiet Sunday morning, the scrambled eggs still sizzling on the stove, it stunned everyone. The ambulance came quickly. At the hospital, the diagnosis was swift and cruel: ischemic stroke. A clot had blocked blood flow to the left side of Harold's brain. Within hours, he lost the ability to speak clearly and had trouble moving the right side of his body. The doctors acted fast, and Harold survived. But the question lingered: why had someone so careful, so seemingly healthy, suffered a major stroke? It wasn't until days later, during a quiet conversation with the hospital's lead neurologist, Dr. Raymond Lenz, that the pieces began falling into place. "I've seen this before," Dr. Lenz said, reviewing Harold's blood work and diet. "You said he ate healthy, no red meat, no smoking, no processed foods. But did he snack?" Marjorie blinked. "Well, yes. Every night he had a handful of mixed nuts. He thought they were good for his heart, especially the Brazil nuts. He loved those." Dr. Lenz's expression didn't change, but his eyes narrowed. "Brazil nuts," he repeated quietly. "That might explain it." He pulled up a chair. "Look, I'm a brain doctor. I don't normally give diet lectures. But you need to know this. Brazil nuts are one of the richest dietary sources of selenium on the planet. One single Brazil nut can contain over 90 micrograms. That's more than double the daily recommended amount for an adult. If Harold was eating several a night, well, he may have been getting 5, 6, even 7 times what's considered safe." Marjorie stared at him, confused. "But selenium's good for you, isn't it?" "In the right amount," Dr. Lenz said. "Yes, it's essential, but too much of it can trigger a chain reaction in the body, leading to oxidative stress, inflammation, and in susceptible individuals, increased clotting in the blood vessels, especially in the brain." He paused. "I'm shocked how often I see this in seniors who are doing their best. They read about healthy fats and antioxidants. They reach for superfoods like Brazil nuts, but they're not told the full story. In excess, selenium can backfire. It's not just Brazil nuts. Other supplements and fortified foods can push levels into the danger zone, especially in older adults whose bodies process things more slowly. In Harold's case, blood tests revealed his selenium levels were almost double the upper safe limit. It wasn't a smoking gun, but it was a loaded one. Combined with mildly elevated blood pressure and age-related vascular stiffness, the selenium toxicity had likely tipped him into a hypercoagulable state, his blood clotting too readily. The clot had traveled upward and lodged in the middle cerebral artery. In the weeks that followed, Harold underwent physical and speech therapy. His mind remained intact, but words came slower now, and he tired easily. He was determined, but changed. Less confident, more cautious. His once unshakable belief in his healthy routine was gone. Meanwhile, Dr. Lenz couldn't shake the case. As a neurologist, he had seen stroke victims from every background: smokers, diabetics, sedentary seniors, but it was the seemingly healthy ones that haunted him. It was becoming disturbingly common, people trying to do the right thing and paying the price for hidden nutritional overloads. In his practice, he began asking every new patient about their supplements, snacks, and routines. More often than not, he discovered hidden dangers: megadoses of vitamin E, unchecked turmeric supplements, which can interfere with blood clotting, and the ever-present Brazil nuts. One of his patients, a 68-year-old woman named Joanne, had suffered a mild stroke while gardening. Her only vice was 3 Brazil nuts per day, which she'd eaten religiously for years. She thought they helped her hair and nails. They probably had, but they'd also driven her selenium levels through the roof. Dr. Lenz started keeping a list in his office titled "Healthy Until It's Not." At the top, written in bold red letters, was Brazil nuts. Just 1 or 2 a week, he began telling patients. Not daily, not by the handful. Word began to spread. Senior health newsletters picked up his warnings. One even ran the headline: "As a brain doctor, I'm shocked. This nut raises stroke risk overnight." It wasn't sensationalism, not really. Dr. Lenz had seen the consequences firsthand. The risk was real. By the time Harold had recovered enough to walk unassisted again, he was back in his garden, watching tomatoes ripen under the sun. He still snacked, but now it was a small apple or a few almonds. Never Brazil nuts. He'd even started giving talks at the community center about his experience, urging fellow seniors to read beyond the headlines and to talk to their doctors about every part of their diet. I thought I was doing everything right, he told one group of retirees on a Thursday afternoon. But I never asked anyone about those nuts. Never questioned if something natural could still be dangerous. The room was silent. I'm not saying Brazil nuts are poison, he continued, but they're powerful, and power, when misused, has consequences. In the back of the room, a nurse nodded. She'd heard it before. She'd seen the pattern, and thanks to stories like Harold's, more seniors were catching on before it was too late. Dr. Lenz kept doing his rounds, watching, asking, and warning. He knew he couldn't prevent every stroke, but maybe, just maybe, he could help people understand that in the world of nutrition, more isn't always better. And sometimes the danger comes not from what we avoid, but from what we trust too easily.